Welcome back to Baby Takes. As you can see, we are a little bit different. We got Zach on Zoom right next to me and me on the camera in our new studio right here, obviously. We also got Bennett with us. Tried to do a Bennett cam, but Bennett was not having it. Now he's messing with the mic. But yeah, we're just trying things out. We'll see how it all works. But first, Zach, you got anything before we get started?
Just a crazy year in the coaching carousel. Coaches leaving that we thought would leave, and maybe coaches that we think are going to leave might stay. You never know what's going to happen.
Right.
But COVID, fifth year, just for one of the craziest college football years we've ever seen. So it's only going to get crazier from here. And what's to say this doesn't feed into next year and make it even more crazy?
Right. Yeah, 100%. So yeah, that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about the crazy coaching carousel that's happening right now. You got national coach of the years previously leaving. Really, really crazy stuff happening. So yeah, let's just get right into that. Let me share this screen and we'll start it off. Get this going. Okay, so first off, Florida hired Billy Napier. I really like this hiring. He really proved himself at Louisiana. He obviously, you can see he had a 39-12 record at Louisiana. He had 4 straight winning seasons, and he was a 2020 Sun Belt champ. And he's only getting paid $2 million a year, which is nothing compared to what the other guys are getting paid. But I think this is a big time hire. It's not, one of the crazy hires that we've seen in other ones, but I still think it's pretty crazy that this could even happen in the first place. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. So I watched Louisiana last year play Iowa State, and obviously at the end of the year last year, Iowa State was one of the top teams in the country. But first game of the year, Louisiana came out and beat them. So I think that shows that this guy can, play those top level teams, and if he can do it with Louisiana, why couldn't he do it with Florida? Better players, better atmosphere around him. Just a great step for him that I think he deserves.
Yeah, for sure. So next up, we got the first, maybe it wasn't, I don't think it was the first, but it was one of the craziest. Obviously, Brian Kelly going to LSU. He's 113-40 at Notre Dame. He's the all-time winningest coach at Notre Dame. He's a 3-time national coach of the year, made the college football playoff twice, and he's made a national championship. And his contract is reportedly 10 years, upwards of $95 million. Zach, there's a lot of controversy happening with this, with this hire. So what do you think?
So just going to start off with that contract. That is just base.
Mm-hmm.
That is
that's guaranteed.
That is guaranteed money. Ridiculous amounts of money right there. Ridiculous amounts of money. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously, got to follow the money. And I think he's hit a peak at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And I mean, as good as being an independent school is, it's just hard, right?
Yeah.
It's never going to be able to compete for that conference title, and you're always going to have that argument against being the playoff and stuff. What I really don't like about it is the fact that after he, took the job at LSU, he went to the Notre Dame stadium, or Notre Dame campus, to talk to his team at 7:00 and was driving away by 7:15.
Yeah.
At a not even 4-minute speech.
Yeah. Even before that, even before he talked to his team, he texted them. He said, sorry, you guys couldn't hear this in person.
Yeah. Why can't they?
I mean, tomorrow. Right. He didn't have to agree to the job. He could have talked to his players first and then been like, okay, you can make it public now. He definitely has some control over it. Maybe not a whole lot, but enough. I mean, he could at least tell his players before everything just breaks down. They see it on – they saw it on social media before he even said anything to him.
And then he went to LSU last night and was like faking a Southern accent.
Yeah, that was so weird because I don't know where he's from,
No,
but he's never coached. The southernmost team that he's coached is Cincinnati, and
yeah,
that's in Ohio. So yeah, I don't think he's from the South. Yeah, I definitely saw a lot about the faking the accent. This is definitely one I didn't expect. I didn't expect Brian Kelly to go anywhere. I thought he was going to just stay at Notre Dame.
yeah. His reason for leaving, I mean, all that I can see is that, I mean, it's just hard with the playoff now. Harder. I'm sure it's gonna be harder to recruit with NIL deals. It's
Mhm.
just, I mean, you can only get so good at Notre Dame. You can only get so good, especially with the playoff. Before, you can consistently make that argument of being in a national title game, but with the playoff, it's just everyone wants a conference champ in there, and
Mhm.
without conference, it's just hard to do.
Yeah, I mean, if they were undefeated, I could definitely see them being in, but they lost to
Yeah.
Cincinnati. So yeah, there's no way. I mean, there's still a chance. What's crazy is there's still a chance they get in. They're the number
Oh,
16 in the nation. All it takes is, let's say, Alabama to lose, and then Oklahoma State to lose,
maybe Michigan.
maybe Michigan, maybe Cincinnati, maybe loses to Houston. But yeah, I mean, Notre Dame's the number 6 team in the country. So there's no saying that they're not going to make
Yeah.
it in. I
Uh,
mean, it's just crazy,
what I
crazy.
don't like about so right now the college football playoff committee said they are going to take into account that Brian Kelly left into the fact of putting Notre Dame in the playoff. I think that is ridiculous.
That is
I think
ridiculous. You
that
can't,
is I
yeah.
think that is so far ridiculous to punish players for the fact their coach left
Yeah, you
out of
can't.
nowhere.
Speaking of that, taking his position, I think it's a great hire. I like that they didn't go big with Marcus Freeman, who is their defensive coordinator. He, if you didn't see the video, hold on. Before I get to the video of him, did you see the video of Notre Dame's offensive coordinator talking to the
Uh-uh.
team? He was like, I wanted you guys to hear it first. I'm not going anywhere. He's like, I know there's rumors out there, but I'm staying here. I love it here. I'm going to continue to be the offensive coordinator for you guys. And then this guy, Marcus Freeman, who just joined Notre Dame in 2020. He's their defensive coordinator. I think their strength and conditioning coach was like telling them season's not over. I know it's been a tough week for you guys. And then he's like, I want to introduce you to your new head coach, Marcus Freeman. And obviously all the players just went crazy. Like they started jumping. Everyone was hyping this guy up. Like it seems like the players really, really like him. So yeah, I wouldn't count.
Oh yeah. I mean, and I'm sure they have a personal connection. I feel like that's huge, especially when they're in the spot that Notre Dame's in, is
Yeah.
to with a personal connection. Because if you brought in like a new coach right now, it's only going to hurt you. You can't coach a top level team towards the end of the year, and with a guy that nobody knows. So the fact they just took someone from their staff and just moved him up, I really like that.
Yeah. Me as well. So yeah, I wouldn't count them out of anything. If they're as hype as they were when they were seeing that he was the new head coach, then why wouldn't they be hyped going into these games that they still have to play? Like they're still going to have a bowl game. Obviously, they don't have a conference championship, but they're going to have a bowl game. And if they get in the championship, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't seem right to punish the players, like you said, for something they obviously can't control. So,
Yeah.
no, Marcus Freeman, I think, is a great hire. He coached a great defense at Cincinnati. He was a finalist for Assistant of the Year, and he won the 24/7 Sports Defensive Coordinator of the Year. So he's legit. He's a legit coordinator. I think he's going to do good. But yeah, the main hire, obviously, that everyone's talking about was Lincoln Riley to USC. This came out of nowhere. I had no idea this was happening. But yeah, I guess we'll go over his accolades real quick. 4 straight Big 12 titles. He coached 3 Heisman finalists. He was a Big 12 Coach of the Year, and he has the highest win percentage at Oklahoma with an 84% win percentage. There's a lot. There's a lot to break down with this. But Zach, I'm gonna let you go first. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, tough as an Oklahoma fan, probably tough as an Oklahoma player, and you don't like it, but if I was in the Lincoln Riley position, I would see no reason not to.
Right.
You got this NIL now. What kid doesn't be in LA?
Yeah.
With this NIL deals. I mean, how much culture, how deep is USC? You got such a great fan base. The alumni is huge. NIL recruiting makes it so much better there.
Yeah.
And then playing in the Pac-12 is, now more respected probably than playing in the Big 12. Rather than, in a way though,
Pac-12 is
once Oklahoma and Texas leave to the SEC, it's not going to be as respected.
Yeah.
And and then you want to go to the SEC stomped every year until you can recruit a decent defense. Like, no, you want to go to USC, play for Pac-12 titles, get great kids. The Oklahoma's top recruit just decommitted from Oklahoma, said he didn't want to talk to anyone. Lincoln Riley called him the day after, and he's about to commit to USC.
Yeah. No, that's what. Yeah. Players don't commit to programs, in my opinion. They commit to coaches. So, yeah, reportedly, Lincoln Riley didn't want to coach in the SEC. So that probably means that he didn't have a say in Oklahoma leaving in the first place. It was probably just an athletic director thing.
Yeah.
I don't blame him. Oklahoma, especially this year, wasn't even the best team in the Big 12. So the SEC is obviously 10 times tougher, and they might be playing there. I don't know if they'll be playing there next year. I think it's 2024 is when they plan on going over. So yeah,
25, I thought.
Maybe that might be it. But yeah, this was probably the best coaching destination that's going to pop open. So he took the opportunity, and he also had a giant contract reportedly. So I got all the information on that right here. So reportedly, it was a $110 million contract, and that's just guaranteed. USC is buying both of his homes in Norman for $500,000 over the asking price, so $1 million bonus. Buying a $6 million home for him in LA, and his family gets unlimited use of the private jet 24/7. If this is all true, this is insane.
I don't think it's true. Just because this guy right here is not a sports analyst, he is not a sports reporter. He is in some economics company or something. Yeah, I'm not saying it's not possible, but 24/7 private jet use, no. I'm gonna X that one. 3 a.m. you're just gonna use your private jet? No, you're not gonna have a pilot on standby at all times.
I don't know, man.
Top
hires. This is one of the top coaching hires of all time.
Yes, buying his home.
We don't know how he's done. He hasn't done anything at USC yet, but just going off of what he's accomplished so far, this is crazy.
Yeah, buying his homes in Norman for over $500,000 asking. One of them was just built. The only reason he has 2 of them is because he was in the process of building one.
So I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just don't know what like USC is buying the houses. So what are they doing with it? Like, are they just obviously they're just going to sell it again,
It,
right?
exactly. Why would you buy his houses?
I mean,
You
it's pretty
know,
much a signing bonus, but I don't know why you couldn't just give him a signing bonus. But yeah, I don't know.
I, and it's not like he's going to be having a hard time selling his houses.
Right.
So
They're
and
obviously
a
going to be nice houses.
home, $6 million home in LA sounds like a lot, but it's really not.
Yeah. I mean, it's a $6 million home. It's going to be a
It's
nice house.
not what he had. It's not what he had in Oklahoma.
You don't think so?
God no.
I don't know. I've never seen his house, so I wouldn't know. But
I mean, let's have you ever seen Brian Kelly's house?
no, it's probably super
Ridiculous.
nice though.
Yeah, and it's 6 million in LA. It's really not that much. I mean, it's still a huge house,
Right.
but it's not like super impressive to throw on a contract. It's not a team flipping. It's nothing that crazy.
Yeah. The 110 million though, I could see that being true. For sure. I mean,
Absolutely, yeah.
if Brian Kelly
I don't
got
know over how much.
95, I could see Lincoln Riley getting 110 because Lincoln Riley's obviously younger, a lot
Yeah,
younger. Probably better suited for
yeah.
this era of college football. But yeah, Lincoln
But I
Riley is a
some of
great
his
coach. I love
incentives
him.
are.
Incentives are probably even, yeah,
I just,
they're probably crazier.
I think they're a little stretched to the truth here. Like,
Maybe.
maybe not.
I mean, we don't have any confirmation, I don't think. So this
We
is
won't. We won't have it. USC
right.
doesn't have to.
They don't have to disclose it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so obviously Oklahoma is now looking for their next head coach. So let's get out of screen. All right. So I'll list off some names and then I'll say who I think Oklahoma is going to hire. And then Zach will say who he thinks is going to hire. So obviously, Matt Campbell is a name that's been thrown out there, Iowa State's head coach. When Matt Campbell took over Iowa State, they were barely better than Kansas. And now they're, I mean, maybe a little overrated, but still, he brought them back to
Yeah, but a
ranked
very
and
good.
right, very good program. Luke Fickell, obviously Cincinnati's head coach. You've seen he's probably going to make the playoff this year with a group of 5 team, which has never been done before. Mark Stoops, brother of Bob Stoops, legendary Oklahoma coach, coaching Kentucky right now. And I think he beat Florida this year, which Kentucky hasn't done probably in 10 years. Obviously, then you got Bob Stoops, who is, I think, coaching the bowl game. Legendary coach. But the person I think is getting this job is Ben Vernables, defensive coordinator at Clemson. He used to coach at
Yes.
Oklahoma for a little bit, and then obviously went to Clemson. He's one of the top defensive coordinators in the nation. He has no head coaching experience, but I think this would be a perfect situation for him to start. Obviously, with Oklahoma being the program that they are, but who do you think is gonna get hired?
Has anything came out on Big Ed Orgeron?
I don't think so. I think he might be stepping away from coaching for a little bit. Probably a little bit like the Les Miles situation. Since it was
Okay.
since it had some legal obligations, I'm sure nobody really
Yeah.
is rushing to hire him.
Yeah. No, probably
Yeah.
not.
Who do you
Probably not.
think? Who do you think Oklahoma's going to hire?
I would really like to see that Luke Fickell hire, just because I feel like he'd go over that Oklahoma offense and it'd be a perfect fit. It'd just be like at home for him.
Right.
And then that's obviously moving up in the world a little bit, going from Cincinnati and then Oklahoma, which is eventually going to the SEC. which
And
brings me
Cincinnati's
to
also
I
going
also
to the
think
Big 12, though.
great chance for Mark Stoops to take that higher, go be with his brother, and then continue to be. Yes, but I would think someone would rather be in the SEC than the Big 12.
True. Yeah.
And I think Mark Stoops, already being in the SEC, but with Kentucky as someone who it's probably hard to recruit there. But I mean, being in Oklahoma, and then you can be in the SEC, but with a better team, almost kind of thing.
Right.
Like he's almost just like upgrading in his own conference. So I think there's a really good case for that one as well.
So, that's pretty much the coaching news. Another big thing that came out that me and Zachary feel very, very deeply about is Adrian Martinez announced that he is transferring from Nebraska. All the respect to Adrian Martinez, one of the most polarizing players at Nebraska. You either hate him or you love him. I was on the side. I loved him. I loved Adrian Martinez. Sure, he made some mistakes, but
to be honest, I don't.
Everybody makes mistakes.
Can be on the side of hating. I don't understand how you can be on the side of hating him. You know what I mean? Because I don't know. He got benched for Luke McCaffrey last year. Never once did you hear a bad word out of his mouth. Been said that he is the greatest guy around kids that families have ever met. Nebraska players have said he's an incredible leader, always working hard, always trying to do the right thing. We had a terrible offensive line, somehow still managed to break almost every record in Nebraska for quarterbacks. I'm not saying we put out top level quarterbacks, but I mean, it's still something to account for here. And then, 4-year captain, like the dude, I just don't see how you cannot like him. We saw in the Iowa game that Adrian,
he wasn't the problem. Yeah.
And I think that, I think it's, possible that Scott Frost maybe held on to him a little too long at times. Maybe, I don't think it was okay for Martinez to play with a broken jaw or a messed up shoulder. I think sometimes you got to protect the players from themselves. I think that was a bad decision part. I don't agree with that at all. You can say, well, he wanted to play. Well, yeah, every 21-year-old guy is going to want to play for his team that he loves dearly, and he's played for 3 years, and he's sacrificed so much. He's not going to say, I don't want to play. He wants to play, but you got to pull him back. And you being that in that position, you got to know that's not best for the team. That's not best for him, kind of thing. And I think that change is needed sometimes. I think, the definition of insanity is trying the same thing over and over again with expecting a different result. Yeah. And I just think, great quarterback, but maybe, to get this reset we want, maybe we just got to move away from that and, try something new. Logan Smothers really is. He's a lot like Martinez, but it may just be the fact of the person. Trying to reset it all here. With this Mickey Joseph hire, I think Scott Frost has finally, got slapped in the face with reality. Like, I better turn it up this year. It's over.
Yeah, I think this could be good for both sides because Adrian could get out of the situation. He worked so hard. He probably worked harder than anybody on that field. I think if there's anybody that wanted to win more than Scott Frost, it was Adrian. Like, obviously Scott Frost wants to win at Nebraska more than anything. He's shown that. He's taken pay cuts. He's done everything he could. Adrian has done the same thing. So I think giving Scott Frost the opportunity to look for somebody else. He's kind of been attached to Adrian,
Yeah,
not allowing
he's
really other players to even have a chance. You've seen
and
that.
he said
Obviously, Adrian was hurt, and then he just kept him in. He didn't play Logan Smothers really at all.
and he said before, he said, I'm just trying to get Adrian his moment. And it's like, okay, like 50,000 fans are not here to see Adrian's moment. Adrian's not here to have Adrian's moment. Your other whatever, how many hundred and some players are not here for Adrian's moment. Neither should you. Like that's not why you're here to coach football. You're not here to, make a player great. This isn't, he's not. This isn't daddy ball, and that's not.
Pretty much what he was, yeah, pretty much what he was doing. But yeah, I'm excited. I want the best for Adrian. I want him to succeed wherever he goes. There's no
Mhm.
ill will. I don't see it as like a stab in the back or like he's quitting on the team or anything. I think it was bound to happen eventually. It's sad
No.
that it's happening for sure,
And
but
the
I
most
mean,
great professional farewell letter. He's got no bad blood. We've got no. I mean, I think true blood towards him. The players don't. The coaches don't. It's just, I just think change is needed.
right. Yeah, I agree completely. But yeah, I think there's a lot of realistic options out there for him. And we each have our top five. So we'll alternate. I'll say my five, you say your five. So I'll start with my five. My number five is Auburn. Bo Nix said earlier this week that he doesn't know if he's going to be back at Auburn next year. He might transfer. So I think Auburn always wants to be competitive, and they'll probably go out and find a guy that can help them compete right away. Spencer Rattler is projected to go to UCLA right now, and then Dylan Gabriel from UCF is projected to go to Ole Miss. So the next best guy, I think, in my opinion, is Adrian. So scooping up Adrian would be good in the SEC. I mean, I guess that Ohio State guy just announced that he's transferring.
Yeah.
Quinn Ewers, but he's only 17. Like nobody knows how good he is. He didn't play at all. Nobody knows. So, but I think Auburn's realistic. So Auburn's my number five. What do you got?
Yeah. So crazy you picked that because I thought there was no way that we would have the same number five. I thought Auburn was an entirely bold take. But I am saying Auburn. Yeah, bonus history is, or his not his history, his future is a little unknown at this point. And I think Auburn with Bo Nix, kind of in the same situation that Nebraska was with Adrian Martinez. Great player, loves the program. They love Bo Nix, but it's just not working out. It's like staying in a relationship, but you can tell you shouldn't be.
Right.
It's just like change is needed sometimes. I don't think he will go to Auburn. I think there's places that are far more likely of him to go to.
Right. Me too.
But
Me too.
I definitely think it's out there, and it's somewhere where I think he'd fit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's definitely a possibility. I think it's a little unlikely, but I think it's one of the more likely ones for sure. My number four is Cincinnati. So Cincinnati is going to be losing maybe their head coach, maybe their starting quarterback. Maybe they want to go with a young guy. Maybe they want to go with a recruit. But maybe they just want to stay competitive and bring in a guy that can help them do that. Obviously, Adrian Martinez can be competitive. This year alone, he never lost a game by more than single digits. So he can be competitive. So I think this would be a good thing for Cincinnati. Even if Luke Fickell stays, especially if Luke Fickell stays, it'll keep them being competitive. Maybe not as good as Desmond Ritter, but Adrian's a good quarterback, so I think he'll do fine. It's looking like Zach has some technical difficulties.
No, I'm good.
Okay, camera's just out. So what do you got
Oh.
for number 4?
I'm coming back. All right. My number 4 is Arizona. So Arizona it's a little close to home for him. The Arizona coach has gotten, I think he said 2 transfer portal quarterbacks. I think in the last 2 years or something like that. But he has proved that he is a big transfer portal guy. And I just don't see, like you said, Cincinnati, I just don't see that. You get 1 year with the guy. The big program may not be the place that wants him just because of that, of just you only get 1 year. Like he's only good for 1 more year. That's all he's got
Right.
left. So he's not someone you can really build around, but he's someone that someone like Arizona can bring in and maybe make a little noise and then maybe try to make a name and help recruiting or something like that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Arizona's a good pick. I almost picked them for my top 5, but they just didn't quite make it. My number 3 is someone that Zach actually tweeted to me yesterday. Fresno State. I think Fresno State is super realistic. Their old coach is actually going back because their new coach just left. And this old coach actually recruited Adrian while he was obviously in the recruiting process. Originally committed to Tennessee, then switched his commitment to Nebraska, and he's been here for 4 years. And since then, the Fresno coach has left and came back. So I think Adrian is definitely one of the top things that he wants to be one of his first things he does at head coach. And I think Fresno would be a good spot for him. Mountain West Conference.
Home.
Yeah, it's home. So I think it's a good spot for him. Maybe not to get the national TV or the recognition, but yeah, I mean, it's a good spot.
Yeah. So my number 3 is probably your number 2. But my number 3 is Tennessee. He was committed to Tennessee before decommitting and then committing to Nebraska. And obviously, now you get the guy that you had but lost. He's pretty much back in. Just recruit him like you did last time, right? And so I think he could, and obviously he wanted to go there, or he wouldn't have committed there. So I think he likes it there, but maybe Nebraska was better. Maybe it was his second choice. So I think that's definitely a possible choice for him to go to, with obviously being committed there at some point.
Yeah. So actually, surprisingly, Tennessee did not make my list. I originally did have them at number 2, but then I thought about it for a little bit. There's rumors that the coach may leave, and if the coach leaves, then I don't think anybody wants to transfer there. There's reports he may be going to Oklahoma to be the head coach, Josh Heupel. He was an assistant at Oklahoma for a little bit, so there's that connection there. But my number 2 is actually Oregon. So it may seem a little unlikely, but it's closer to home. Oregon is in a win now mode, and they're losing their starting quarterback, Anthony Brown, who actually did transfer from Boston College. So Oregon's not scared to get a transfer quarterback. And I think it all makes sense. Oregon obviously runs a similar offense because Scott Frost built that Oregon offense and to what he runs now. And Oregon still runs that to this day. So Adrian would fit right in to the play style, stay competitive. I would love to see him go there. I think he could be really successful there, but not the most successful because of my number 1 spot. But go ahead and name your number 2 before I get to that.
Yeah. So my number 2 is actually Fresno State. I just think, it's very likely. It's home. The old coach is coming back that recruited him. It's it's just so likely. With the guy with 1 year left, it seems like guys that do this always go home. A lot of guys that are transferring towards the end of their careers always just go home because that's just where they want to be. They've done they've ventured out in the world. They've done what they could. It's time to go home and play ball back home. So I just think it's pretty likely for him to do that.
Yeah, it's definitely likely, but I think there's something even more likely. It's crazy.
Yeah, me.
All the dots connect. It's like every single thing makes sense. And it's
I'm thinking we have the same.
It's Kansas State.
Yeah.
So starting off, let's just go pure football. They run a similar offense, but they run a little bit more of the power run. So that'll take some pressure off of Adrian. They got a good up and coming coach. They're a really decent program. I don't think they've had a losing record in a while.
They've got receivers is actually from Nebraska.
That's what I was about to say too. Cade Warner is one of his best friends reportedly. They were in the same recruiting class. Cade Warner transferred from Nebraska to K-State last year, and he's coming back. So, and then probably the biggest thing for me is his girlfriend is on the soccer team at Kansas State, and they're pretty serious. I don't know. I'm not trying to put words where I don't know or make any assumptions, but pretty sure they're pretty serious. So I think that is a big telltale of what could happen in this offseason for sure.
Yeah, I think he can. I think he can succeed immensely at K-State. I think it's a great fit for him. Playing the Big 12. I don't know. I think that he's been used to playing against that Big 10 that Big 10 defense. So playing against that Big 12 defense, he may go insane.
Right.
Playing down. And he may not. Yeah, sure. He may not have the offensive weapons that some other teams in the Big 12 have, but just him alone. You don't see a lot of quarterbacks that are mobile and as big as that guy that play in the Big 12. So I think he'll fit perfect.
One big mobile quarterback that plays in the Big or used to play in the Big 12 actually played at K-State, Colin Klein. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah. So this is a perfect fit. Why wouldn't you want to go?
Right. Yeah, it totally makes sense. The only thing I think holding him back.
If he does go to Kansas State, you can bet your life savings I will be going to a K-State game to watch that guy.
Oh, for sure. 100%. I'll be at the KU K-State game for sure.
Absolutely. I will not miss it.
Yeah. No, 100%. I think even this may be bold, but with Oklahoma, with Lincoln Riley leaving, you never know. Baylor's up and coming. They're good. Oklahoma State's always good. But, K-State could be a Big 12 title team with Adrian.
Dude, Oklahoma's on the ball. Texas is on the ball. Iowa State's coach is probably going to leave.
Right.
You got Baylor and Oklahoma State, but both teams that are very inconsistent, consistently average, or consistently good. And I think it's a perfect time. I don't see a program more likely than K-State. I think it's I think so. I think that's where it's going. But I could so.
Yeah, I think that's where he's going. I heard yesterday from a K-State student, actually. He thinks that K-State is a little weary about his shoulder injury because it is his throwing shoulder. Yeah. But, he's going to go somewhere. What do you have to lose, really, to bring him in?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. It's not like K-State's got terrible backup quarterbacks. Dude, this is ridiculous. So obviously I am in a Nebraska football fan page about to leave because some people are just like radical, ridiculous, throwing stupid takes out there. Someone said maybe Adrian Martinez will not play quarterback at his next school. They said, I'd love to see him at tight end. What are you thinking? He's played quarterback for 4 years at a Power 5 school, almost beat the top teams in the country, and you think he's not going to play quarterback? Ridiculous.
Yeah. No, Nebraska
But
fans
these
have
are
been getting Nebraska fans have been getting on my
Adrian Martinez.
nerves.
Yeah, these are the same people that think Adrian Martinez is the worst thing to ever happen in Nebraska football, which is so beyond stupid. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even fathom how you can think that. I mean, go back and look at the stats. His efficiency is through the roof. And like he's always played great, and he's always wanted to win. It's just the fact that he just has zero supporting cast.
Yeah, it's been tough. Nebraska fans you're either all in or you're all out. There's no like maybes. You got the fans that are all in. They're like, I love this Mickey Joseph hire. I love what Scott Frost, the progress that he's made. You know, the defense played great this year. And then there's also fans that are like, Scott Frost sucks. He can't win.
Yeah. So let's pay him for 5 more years like we do, and then bring it and start over right where we are. Why would if you brought in a coach now, you cannot expect to win next year.
No, absolutely not.
I mean, you're right there. You're right there. Scott Frost has any other coach in this position at any other school gets fired. Scott Frost has the potential to go down in the books at Nebraska. And he just got to fix a couple little things, and I think he is. This Mickey Joseph hire really shows me, and the fact that he finally moved on from Adrian shows me that he's changed. Like he knows he knows he needs to pick it up now.
Right. No, I know. Scott Frost isn't perfect, obviously. I'm not saying that. Scott Frost needs to learn how to close out games, as we've saw this year.
No.
He can look like the best coach on the field for the 3 quarters and then look like a bottom 10 coach in the 4th quarter. That's how it's really been this year. So yeah, he needs to learn how to coach late in games. But I think he can figure that out, and everything else will just follow behind, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely.
Looks like we're a little behind on Zach's end. Looks like he's answering my questions a few seconds late.
You're glitching pretty bad.
All right. Well, that's probably a good place to end it then. I got nothing else. Hope all the best for Adrian. This coaching carousel has been crazy. I'll be tweeting things out when we hear more about the coaching carousel in general. But yeah, that's all I got. Zach, you got anything else?
No, that's all for me. One thing, Central College plays University of Wisconsin Whitewater tomorrow in the, I think this is it's round 3. Yes. So it might be the quarters, but I don't know.
The Division 3 football championships.
Quarterback is throws 1 touchdown, breaks the all-time all-division NCAA touchdowns in a season record with 62. I think if you take out last game, he had 1 pick through all of it. I think maybe two. I think he's got 4. 61 touchdowns, 4 picks. So, great story on that.
Yeah, pretty legit. But yeah, that's all I got. We will see you guys next time. And yeah.